What's up, guys? It's Rich, bringing you guys another Star Citizen video. Today we're going to be talking about how I made my first million in 3.18. What I did for my main two methods is going to be bounty hunting and bunker missions. These two are straightforward, tried and true. These make you money. They may not be the most exciting and the newest methods, but they do make you money. And if you've never played the game and you're new to 3.18, hopefully this guide will help you out to make some money, some quick earnings in the verse, and you can actually take a little bit away from this. So the first thing you want to do before you go ahead and accept any contracts is you want to get over to the mobiGlass to the mercenary tab and accept the call to arms mission. This will be something you accept every time you log into a new shard or a new server. This actually gives you the ability to earn bonuses every time you either blow up a ship or kill someone in bunkers. So it's an extra 500 per outlaw. So what that is a nice boost to every single contract you'll be earning. What that means is if you go in a bunker and there's 10 enemies in there and you kill all 10 of them, that's an extra 5,000 on top of the 19,000, 17,000, 15,000, whatever it might be you're making off that bunker mission contract. It's a nice boost and a nice extra income you'll be making. So make sure before you accept any contracts, you accept the call to arms. All right, guys, first thing we're going to talk about is bounty hunting. What you have here is going to be different types of contracts, different types of tasks. There's two types, two main ones: player bounties, PvE bounties. We're going to be talking about PvE bounties today, as I haven't even dived into the player versus player bounties. So this is going to be the easiest way for those learning how to fly, those that like ship combat. This is the best way to learn how to do that. PvE bounty starts with very low risk targets. It's going to then go up to low risk targets, medium risk targets, high risk targets, and then very high risk targets. What those do is those give you different tiers and different ways to make money. You start at, I believe, 2,500, then go up to 5,000, then 7,500, then 11K, and 17,000. Each of those is a different tier that you get. Also different difficulty. As you go up the level of tiers of bounties, they are going to get more difficult, but you will begin earning more. The way you unlock higher tier bounties, when you first start, you will be starting with very low risk targets. You actually, before that, you have to do your fee, which is going to be your bounty hunter fee. You pay $500 and you go blow up a ship, blow up a bounty, kill the bounty, and then you'll get access to your other contracts. That's going to start you off with your very low risk targets. As you do bounty missions, you will level up your reputation. As you notice, you make those reputation gains by completing the missions. Once you complete a certain amount of missions and you get ready to advance to the next level, you'll have a certification test to take. What that is a normal bounty hunting mission, but you have to do it as the next level, and it opens up the next level of contracts for you. And you just rinse and repeat. You keep running those until you level up your reputation with the guild, and it'll give you better missions, better payouts, start earning a lot of money. I am making currently on very high risk targets 17,500 per mission, which is with the boost of the extra 500. It's going to be 18,000 I'm making. So I'm making 18,000 per mission running, and it's going to take me in and out with the constellation. As you see here, it takes me 5 minutes. It's literally in, literally out. You're just getting in there, getting out, blowing up ships. So if you like space ship to ship combat, this is for you. Take a look at how some of these went, so you get a little guide, a little in-depth look at them. It's really neat to see, the ship to ship combat, just how it plays out. If you like that, it is super duper fun. So let's take a look at that. A little trick to know is when you are jumping to bounties, sometimes they are not directly on points. As you see these little blue arrows on the map, these are direct points you can jump to. Sometimes a bounty will not spawn there. It'll spawn in between two of them. As you see here, the best way to do that is, for example, you'll want to jump to the set point, the closest one, and then when you get to that, aim your ship at the next point, putting your bounty in between the point and the next available jump point. What you can do is jump to that next point. When you get pretty close, you'll shut down your ship and you'll get nice and close to the bounty, so you don't have to actually travel over 100 kilometers. You can travel a lot closer sometimes. Just keep that in mind. With big ships, I wouldn't recommend doing this because it takes forever for them to power back on and power on those shields again. So when you're close, you want to, instead of having to wait, you can just jump into the combat. So that's something nice to do. You can do with small ships. It'll jump in, jump through, and then get ready for combat with the bounty a lot closer than having to fly for an extra few minutes. So once you jump to that position, you're going to be engaging with the target. It generally drops you about 30 to 20 kilometers out. So just keep that in mind. You'll have to fly in a little bit, keep an eye on your speed, keep an eye on your weapons, keep an eye on your shields, make sure everything's charged up and ready to go. Something neat to note is if you're flying and you want to make sure your guns are in gimbal mode, which is kind of like an aim assist, if you will, on the ship, make sure you press G. And if you look in the bottom right, it'll say lock and then auto. You want to make sure your weapons are on auto. That's going to help you track a lot easier and shoot your target a lot better. Also, if you're in your missiles and you press G, you can load up to, I believe, depending on your ship, but the constellations can be 4. You can load up all those missiles all at once. So if you just press G multiple times, here I press it an extra 3 times, and it loads up all my missiles so I can take out this target a lot better and a lot more efficiently. So just keep that in mind when you're loading in little combat tricks and tips like that. You press G to switch from lock to auto, and then press G when you're under missiles to load up to 4 missiles. So just keep that in mind when you're shooting your missiles, that they're going to be very effective for taking out these targets. Sometimes missiles completely don't work, so that's just something that, it's the way of the road. But when you get in, when you get out with Constellation, it's really just a tank. When you see incoming missiles, spam H on your keyboard. That is the decoy button. Make sure you spam it a couple times to make sure those missiles don't hit you. You'll know missiles are coming at you when you have at the bottom of your screen of your HUD. You'll notice it says incoming missile, and you'll hear a lot of beeping, just like you see on the screen now. You'll want to make sure you get out of the way and roll if you need to, but spam those decoys and avoid taking that contact, especially if you're in a light fighter. You're going to get absolutely blown out of the water if some of those missiles hit you. So just keep that in mind. With the Constellation, we can absolutely tank this damage and just spray back at him head to head. Playing a game of chicken, we'll just want to blow him up and then get out and go to the next contract. So this is another bounty I went ahead and accepted, so you guys can see 2 of them. This one's more on the planet surface, so it plays out a little bit trickier. I found this to be a little bit harder, actually. Interestingly enough, for some reason, the ones on the planet surface seem to be a little bit more engaging. Interestingly enough, it looks like the AI actually rams my ship here and does some significant damage to the front of my ship. Doesn't kill me. We were able to still blow him up, so that's nice. But, just keep in mind when you're doing these missions, how you play, what type of ship you have does come into a factor, depending on how many shields and how many weapons you have, how quick you'll be able to take them out. The Constellation, once again, is just a beast, so I can just eat a lot of this damage. The next thing we're going to be discussing is bunker missions. Bunker missions are also really simple and really straightforward. You will find those under the mercenary tab in your Moby glass. Those will normally be named provide backup when you start off. It's gonna be about 15K. You'll notice that they're specifically from the security team. There's a lot of different options there, but make sure you're looking for the ones that are from the security teams that are discussing in the description, backup and supporting the security on site and the personnel on site and eliminating. Normally you have options like destroy illegal drugs, which is 55,000. That mission right now is bugged to me. Sometimes I load in, sometimes it doesn't. So just keep that in mind when you're doing those missions. You want to be looking for the ones that are specifically from the security team on the planet system you're at. You have a reputation system with that security system, not just a bounty hunting, but security. Bounty hunting is for bounty hunting, which we just described. Security is for bunker missions. That will give you the ability to level up and get better contracts. You can get up to 90K bunker missions, which is great. These are great for loot. These are great for getting quick money, getting in and out. If you need armor, if you need guns, if you need ammo, go into these and make that money. These are quick. My best tip is, I say with these, the first one you do on the day, get your armor, get your guns. If you need any of that stuff, load up on that. The reason I don't do that here is because it is 3.18 and 3.18.1 is right around the corner, and there's going to be a wipe with that. So I'm not trying to stack a lot of armor, have enough to run these missions, but there's no point to even try and stack this armor because it's just going to be wiped away. Now you could stack it and sell it, but I didn't feel like wasting my time doing that because it's a little bit time consuming, but it is quicker when you have a multi-tool. So just depending if you need that armor and that ammunition, go ahead and jump in there with a multi-tool after you go ahead and take out all the security guards. Correction, the not the security guards, the enemy personnel. Don't shoot the security guard or else you get a crime stat. When you are going around these bunker missions, what happens is actually you want to look for these red loot boxes. Those are your high tier loot boxes that spawn guns, armor, weapon, attachments. Anything of that sort that's high value is going to spawn in these red loot boxes. The gray loot boxes are going to be the ones that give you health weapons and smaller things such as med tools that you might benefit from. But the red loot boxes is what you are looking for that high tier loot. Those will spawn high tier guns, higher tier armor that you might want to dive into. So that's something nice and valuable when you're doing these bunker missions, is to look for those red loot boxes that I'm showing you on screen now. Those will give you some extra benefit. Like I was saying as well, is once you accept that call to arms contract, every single one of these guys that I killed is an extra 500 in the bank. So once you run out of this, if you get there with 10 out of 10 remaining and you complete the mission, that's 15,000 for the mission, an extra 5,000 for the enemies killed. So that's an extra 20,000 you're making in your pockets, in and out. As you see, it's really quick, really efficient. I would say that's very effective. If you like FPS combat, this is the way to go. So that's the way I made my first million in 3.18. If you guys enjoyed this video and took away some things from it, make sure you drop a like. And if you want to see future videos, make sure you drop a sub. Stay tuned because I'm going to be jumping into some salvage gameplay. I just need to pick up a vulture because I don't have a salvage ship. So we're going to be doing that here very shortly. We're going to be picking up that ship and we're going to be showing you some salvage gameplay. So if you want to see a little guide on that or see how it goes and give my honest thoughts about it, make sure you stay tuned in. Once again, guys, feel free to enjoy this game however you want. That's just the way I made it. And it's a quick buck. If you want to make that money, that first million, this is a really quick and effective way to learn the game, as well as get some good combat in with some PvE. So again, guys, thank you for taking the time to watch the video. Have a great day. Peace out.